people operate from a surface level of self-love. Do you ever wonder why everybody is so triggered on social media? Why we have all these podcasts talking about all these different issues? And people are very emotionally fragile. And when they find themselves triggered, you often will lash out at somebody because this trigger is now a threat, and you are allowing yourself to be swung back and forth like a pendulum that swings somewhere between crashing out and flat out avoidance. People even go as far as sabotaging their own opportunities because they are afraid of being stretched simply because you don't have a foundational self-worth or self-love. It's very fleeting. People have very fragile self-worth today. Some people aren't able to discern between temporary emotions and universal eternal truths. But don't worry, I got you because I was there. And so I am going to show you what it is that I did and what you need to embody self-love on a soul level. Okay, so let's talk about surface level self-love and what it actually is, because it might not be very obvious to our eye. It is an illusion and it is rooted in something that does not serve you. Surface level self-love might look like repeating affirmations verbally, but your actions are doing the direct opposite. You may find yourself in a relationship or on a job trying to prove that you're worthy of being there, trying to prove that you're worthy of the relationship, or just needing some type of validation or reassurance. It may look like taking rest, but you're taking it from a perspective that you're burnt out instead of allowing yourself to rest before you reach the state of burnout. A lot of people equate self-love with boundaries, but let's be real. Some people set boundaries to control other people or the situation. Some people will post healing quotes on their feed or quotes about self-love, but you have not had that difficult but necessary conversation that could set you free from the bondage that you are experiencing. And none of these are wrong. Like, there's nothing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with affirmations. There's nothing wrong with rest. There's nothing wrong with setting boundaries or posting healing quotes. The issue comes when you have the wrong foundation. A lot of people stay at the surface level because they don't have the capability or the emotional infrastructure to go deeper. And when you do not have this foundation in place, you will find yourself confusing your emotions with your identity. For example, I am sad. I am angry. I am depressed. Whatever you put after I am, you take on the identity of that. You assume the identity of that. If you are feeling angry or you're feeling frustrated, you don't have to take on the identity of that, because then your actions start to reflect that identity. So there's nothing wrong with feelings, right? Because emotions are temporary. However, we take on that identity and we don't know the difference between the two. When you don't have a good emotional foundation, you allow the tail to wag the dog. What do I mean by this? You react instead of responding. Remember when I mentioned those triggers? When you react, it's a knee-jerk reaction as opposed to, and oftentimes that knee-jerk reaction, it doesn't serve you. It's most of the time not good. And as opposed to responding, you have time to think. You have a choice in how you respond to something. Whereas when you are reacting, it's still a choice, but you're not really, you're reacting from a more primal part of your brain. You're not using your thinking brain. You also stay in comfort and familiarity, even when it doesn't serve you or it imprisons you. For example, that relationship that you might need to let go of, that job that you might have outgrown and you're ready for something different. But again, it's comfortable, it's familiar. Without the proper emotional infrastructure, we have trouble stepping into the unknown because it's the unknown, and we feel good when things are familiar. We feel safe. But when you step into the unknown, you're stepping into uncharted territory and you don't feel safe. And the last thing is temporary emotional wins. They turn into full out tornadoes when you do not have an a proper emotional foundation and way to process your emotions. But again, it's not these things itself that are the issue, because emotions change, things happen that are out of our control. We get afraid of the unknown. We may feel some fear, and that's okay. That's normal. And winds of adversity are going to blow in our life. I mean, if you're of a certain age, like we know that by now, and maybe you even experienced that as a child. But the issue is how you handle it. The issue is when we have no willingness or capacity to be able to handle this. And that's why a lot of people stay stuck and they stay at this surface level of self-love. Again, back to that pendulum. The pendulum swings back and forth, and when it's good, it's real good, and when it's bad, it's real bad. So what is soul level self-love? What it's not is something that you do. If you notice, a lot of the things that I mentioned before was more about doing. This is more about being, your state of being, who you're being. It is known on a soul level, deeply anchored, and without a doubt that regardless of what you believe, I'm not here to change your beliefs or tell you what you should believe in or anything like that, but can we agree that we all come from one source? Whether you come from poverty, whether you come from wealth, whether you black, white, we all come from the same source. And we are all extensions of that. So it's in you, whether your God is or if you have a God or not, we all come from the same source. With that, there is no need to outsource your worth. There is no need to need assurance or validation because it's in you. You can never be separated from it. We don't need to seek external reassurance or validation for safety or to feel like we are enough. You are born enough, and you don't need permission from anyone to make that decision that you know you need to make, but you are calling this person and calling that person and asking what you think, and you're waiting on somebody outside of you to give you permission to do what you know it is that you need to do. It's in you. You have the ability to choose and decide how you want to experience this life. You can have a safe container for all parts of you that exist. There is no reason that you have to suppress parts of yourself. When you're able to hold that within yourself, when you're able to hold space, safe space for that within yourself, you don't need anybody else to do that. If someone comes into your life and adds to that, perfect, beautiful, like that is wonderful, but they can only add to it. You have to already have something to work with because you have to be able to hold your own emotional waves without drowning in them. You don't want the tail wagging the dog again. You don't want to be run by your emotions. You have to take command of your mind and your emotions. And that's not to say you cannot feel your emotions. Of course, we are human beings. We having this human experience. Yes, we are emotional beings, but don't be run by your emotions. So how do we go from surface level self-love to soul level self-love? First, be the sovereign woman that you are called to be. If there is a man watching this video, you have sovereignty as well. Remember, we all come from one source. Again, whether you come from poverty, whether you come from wealth, male, female, black, white, we all come from the same source. So we all have sovereignty over our lives, and we have the ability to decide and to lead our own lives without permission from anybody else, without validation or reassurance. It's in here. You have an internal guidance system. Choose your values. Have some principles, or I like to call them like sovereign decrees that you live your life by. Have some sacred standards, some new agreements, because a lot of times the reason that we are where we are is because we have made agreements with things that don't serve us. And so if we start making new agreements with things that can serve us and help us get to our desired destination, whatever that is for you on this journey of life, you need some new agreements. They're going to be your anchor, your North Star, and these are going to transform you from the inside out. You get to establish a new truth, and you get to live from that, the truth of your being. You get to embody that. So start with your emotional foundation. And if this is resonating and you have had a life-altering experience, whether that is a divorce, you've lost your identity and the roles and the many hats that you wear, where you have just been suppressing yourself for a long time and you're ready to step into your sovereignty, check the description. I will post the link for a one-to-one if you would like a private session. I would love to help you shift internally. I was there, so I know what it's like to just be floating and feeling like life is running away from you like freight train. I remember what that feeling was like, but you have to take back control of your life. Yes, things are going to happen that are outside of your control, but it's not so much those things, it's how you handle these things. It's how you respond to life that makes all the difference. So start with your emotional foundation and live from there.